Hi, my name's Dan, and this video is the first in a short series that I'm going to do about using sound in Unreal. And in fact, in this video, I'm not going to use Unreal at all. I just want to give you a quick introduction to some of the principles and ideas that apply in sound in games. So I want to quickly talk about the different categories of sound that you might include in your games. Broadly speaking, they're broken down into sound effects and music and speech. There's also another way of categorizing sound, which is diegetic or non-diegetic. So diegetic's a little bit of an academic word, but it means sound that makes sense in the game world. And so conversely, non-diegetic sound, of course, is sound that doesn't make sense in the game world. So let's quickly run through and think about what categories they might apply to. So diegetic sound effects are things like ambient sound, like birds singing in the background, the sound of machinery, the sound of traffic rumbling along, and event-caused sound like gunshots, footsteps, explosions, that sort of thing. Non-diegetic sound effects are things like the interface sounds. So if you've got a menu up and you click on a button and it makes a little sound as you do it, that's a non-diegetic sound effect. Diegetic music is pretty rare. You'd only find it if you actually had a band in your game that was playing music that you'd probably have to see to justify that. It's much more common to get non-diegetic music, which is the background music that personally I tend to turn off as quickly as possible. Diegetic speech is speech that is spoken by characters and NPCs, so by people or entities that are in the world. And non-diegetic speech would be something like voiceover narration, uh, comments from uh, maybe some kind of helper on an interface. Sometimes you get something like in a Civilization game, you might have some voiceover in some of the Civipedia stuff, so things that are there to help you learn the game. Okay, so sound in Unreal, there's a whole lot of complexity to it, but it's quite easy to get started. There are a couple of ways you can play sound. Actually, there's more than a couple, but the two kind of basic uh, situations that you can have is you can have the sound played ambiently, so that basically comes out of your headphones or your speakers as you play the game, and it's not dependent on the location of where a character is in the game. And the converse of that, obviously, is sound that can be played at a location in the world. Um, so ambient sound tends to be things like ambient sound effects that we talked about before, background music, interface sounds, voiceover. Those things are non-dependent on your exact location in the world. Located sound is more likely to be the spot sound effects that are triggered by some event or some attached to some object in the world, and in-game speech. And the spot sound effects is usually by far the largest category of sound that you have in the game. So I quickly want to talk about some sound-related terminology that I'm going to be using in the rest of the videos coming up. So pitch is whether the sound is high or is low. Volume is how loud it is. I think you probably understand that. Attenuation, as you get further away from the source of a sound, it gets quieter. And reverberation is if you're in an environment with hard surfaces around you, it creates this kind of echoey type effect. People might call it, say it sounds like you're in a bathroom or something like that, or you get a larger, slightly different reverberation effect if you're in like a school gym or something like that. So it's not a distinct echo in the sense of uh, a sound is made and then you get a distinct repeat of it coming back. It's that kind of multiplied many times and much faster. So it kind of gives you this echoey concept. Okay. So that's it from me for now.